So I just finished watching the Elon Musk and Joe Rogan podcast, and there's actually some quite interesting things hidden between those lines, and there's things called digital escapism and things like that are actually really harmful for us as a society, actually for us, social media, people. So let's get into the video. Alright people, welcome back. My name is Dominic. If you're new here, usually I talk about social media. Usually I talk about various different stuff. Today, it's kind of been some while since I've uploaded a video. It has partly to do with the reason that, I just packed my stuff and moved over to Budapest. We got this super cool high-end place, but the thing is, the internet just fucking sucks here. And so, it's actually kind of hard for me to actually upload videos here, because for me, they're... So if you're in Budapest, some spots with very fast internet, just hit me up. I've checked some of them out, but they're not fast. You've never been to Vienna then. So please bear with me, I've got lots of cool videos queued up in the upcoming days, actually. Just waiting for them to be uploaded. For example, an Instagram fake bus video. Just putting that out there. Anyway, let's get into today's content. So this whole topic is actually pretty important for me, as someone who helps other people, succeed on social media. Because for some reason, if you take this whole social media thing a little bit too seriously, and it's actually not that hard to take it too seriously, because we're gonna get into why in a little bit. You have to be really careful with how you treat this whole thing. And the more I delve into this whole topic, the more I help people, the more I talk to people, the more I notice one common theme among just regular people on the street, regular friends that I have, or even influencers, or if I talk to some Instagram famous people, or just social media managers from companies and stuff like that. There's this one theme that's actually kind of the same with everyone who goes, especially on Instagram, which is they're just crazy for the likes. And it might not sound that, harmful actually, or not that dangerous, but it actually is. So let me get into why. So in the podcast, Elon Musk says something along the lines as, we think of ourselves relative to other people. We kind of baseline our expectations, right? This actually might sound, okay, this is just some woo-woo talk that, this hybrid talks about, but it's actually not. It's actually quite dangerous. It's actually the root of all evil in some sort. But let me try to explain that. For example, I recently talked to a very beautiful girl. She's actually a model, a professional model, and she was like, yeah, especially in her niche where she's like with all those models, people kind of value other people in terms of how many followers do they have. They actually, she told me, like, she herself, and other, especially her friends or her model friends or whatever, they actually take a look at every person they meet. They take a look at their Instagram profiles and they kind of see, okay, how many followers do they have? How many likes do they have? And they actually kind of value their whole opinion that they have about this person, even though they don't know them necessarily. They just value them on their social media presence, especially Instagram in this day and age. For example, she's got 5,000 followers. She's a little bit more worth than, for example, her, even though she's a little bit more beautiful, but she only has 2,000 followers. So she can't be that cool, right? And this is actually how people think in our universe right now. And, there's lots of examples if you dig into probably around your friends, where you can actually kind of see that this is actually very true. And she even told me that, including herself, sorry for spilling this, that she even bought, some fake followers in order to appear, at least on the outside, on the shell, to appear a little bit more worthy. And this thing alone actually kind of made me a little bit think about this whole thing. For me, at least, it kind of seems like this whole social media dream world, it's actually a little bit of a dream world. That. We're going to get into that in a little bit. It's becoming more and more of an asset, to be completely honest. What used to be a Porsche 15 years ago is actually a cool and, big social media profiles, especially Instagram profile, right? You can actually notice that when going out, when talking to people, especially when talking to girls, to tell you how it is, they're like, well, this guy has lots of social media followers. This guy must be cool. And well, and as crazy as this might sound, there's actually a lot more truth to that than it might appear at the first glance. And then there's this other thing, that Elon, referred to as, happiness is, reality minus expectations. And this is actually so true. He's a little bit smart, that one, I think. Anyway, and for example, I recently on Instagram, I scrolled through my feed, I saw this post from a friend of mine, and she had actually a really, really cool post, which actually spoke to me, right? So I wanted to, comment on it. And when I wanted to post it, it said like, it's not possible. So I checked, and she had, deleted the whole post. Not because it was like some sort of spelling mistake or some sort of error, because the post's gone. Like, it's never been uploaded up until this day. So for some reasons, her expectations were not met in what form or another. Maybe she did not get the amount of likes that she was hoping for in the first 5 minutes, because the post was only up there for 5 minutes. Or she actually kind of thought about, okay, what's my future boss, who is probably right now in kindergarten, will think of me in 20 years. Or you never know what thoughts go behind these behind people's minds. And I kind of get it, to be completely honest, because the Instagram algorithm is really weird, to be honest. Sometimes especially in the first minutes, I've noticed recently that for some reason, sometimes they won't send you that many likes. Either they won't just show you, or they won't show your post to people. For example, yesterday, for me, I uploaded a post, and if you do the social media thing regularly, you kind of have your own metrics, right? So you kind of know, all right, after 2 minutes, usually I have, 20 likes or something like that. So yesterday, after 2 minutes, I had, 3 likes or something like that. And actually, I was like, all right, what's happening? So I talked to my friend, like, just delete the post. Of course, I did not delete the post. And for some reason, a minute later, there were 25 likes. So either that's like a kind of a mistake on Instagram or not, who knows? But the thing that I wanted to get into is, if that happens to you and your brain's kind of like, there's something wrong, the kind of panic mode in some very small way or bigger way, whatever, that there might be something at least going on, or something probably wrong going on in your brain. And for some, it happens to all of us to some extent, or basically saying you base your happiness, your expectations, everything, your well-being into these external factors, which are likes, people giving you the validation, people throwing you their attention. The thing is, we're used to that. We're used to seeing all these posts, which are only the 3 best parts of anyone's lives, right? And we're used to only seeing that, and we're like, okay, this, because the only thing we see on Instagram, or pretty much, is the best 3% of anyone's life. So naturally the brain's gonna be like, I want that too, right? Because why not? For example, the feeling when you watch a movie and it's so good, and you're kind of sucked into this whole reality, into this whole dream world, scripted dream world of this movie, that you actually think the outside world is actually same as in the movies, right? And it's actually not. For example, you were on a cruise ship and you meet your love, and you kind of make these dance moves in the ship, and it's all gonna be happy, and you'll find your love. Well, here's the thing: this whole ship might actually sink, and if you feature it sinking, it might actually become a hit, actually showing some vulnerability or whatever. But anyway, usually you won't get to see this ship sinking, especially on social media. And this happens in some form or another in everyday's lives, right? There's the ups and the downs, and people are just not going to show it on social media. And I don't even blame them, because why would they? For people, in my opinion, it might be actually good to not share your worst times. For some it might be good, because it's just their way of coping with things, right? And if something bad happened to you, most people would just stop posting for a while until you feel better. And while this whole thing might be actually good to yourself, if you don't include your low points on social media, the people that watch you are actually probably not even gonna notice that if you stop posting for a while, because there's just a gazillion other content creators out there. They're flooded with content and stuff like that, and they just won't notice, right, if you stop posting for some times. And again, if you start posting again, of course, only the better parts of your life, they're really thinking, okay, from the outside, especially when looking at it from a little bit later, they're going to be like, okay, this is the perfect world again. For example, man, if I told you, for example, what I went through in the last couple of days, some hour, right? The gist of this whole video should be, and again, I made another video, which is actually somewhere linked there, is to, actually stop worrying about these things. Don't think too much about all of that. Alexa's friend probably pretty much, most likely has days where she's in her bed crying her eyes out because of some things. Dominik sometimes has days, in the last weeks, sometimes a little bit more, where he's like, man, why the hell did I do that again? Well, you just have to go through it with it. You just have to accept these things, especially, right? And, for some people, it's good to actually share these things. And actually, I encourage you right now to actually sometimes share these moments on Instagram where it might be not that perfect. You might not have this perfect picture of yourself. You might not might not look good. You might not be in the best mood, whatever. You might feel bad. You can, if you want to, only you can share these things with your people. And in my opinion, the whole life, right, that we go through and that we share ultimately on social media, this whole life is about, ultimately, pursuing your hopes and your dreams. It's about the journey. It's about the pursuit, right? But the thing is, sometimes that pursuit might not have a happy ending, right? That's just the way it is. Sometimes it just doesn't end well. There's those days. You just have to deal with it, right? And it's actually totally fine like that, because once you accept that, this whole journey with the ups and the downs is actually the real deal, right? You're all gonna be fine, more or less. And actually, I kind of have the feeling that in the near future, this whole social media situation is going to change a little bit towards people more being real, right? Towards people more showing the realness, not only face tuning the body and everything up, liquify, #liquify, and things like that. I think it might slowly turn to become a little bit more the rawness of life, more real. And I encourage you actually to, do that, only if you want to, though. So if you're ever at home at one point, contemplating about posting that perfect picture, and you're like, shit, my hair looks kind of weird, which actually does. Anyway, just put it up there, if you feel kind of bad about it, acknowledge it in the post, whatever. But just do it, People are, way more occupied about thinking about themselves if they're perfect, as opposed to, yourself, looking at your video, your post, for example. So do it, upload the pictures, whatever happens. And this has actually been it. Anyway, my name is Dominik. If you didn't know, usually I teach about social media stuff. Might have some vlogs coming up soon. I actually have a tour of how I actually record these videos coming up in the next couple of days, depending on the internet connection. And I have another Instagram fake bust coming up, right? So comment down below if you want to have some influencer that has to be checked, that should be checked in terms of is he a faker or not, because I have some cool new tools to show you how you can actually check that yourself. Anyway, my name is Dominik. See you in a couple of days, hopefully, and thanks for watching. Subscribe. That's actually what you should do right now. And give me a like. And if you want to see the realness, you want to see the weird craziness that's happening, just follow me on Instagram. Anyway, I'll talk to you in a couple of days, and well.